and GM Farcaster. It is Wednesday, April 10th, and you are here with Nounish Prof and Adrienne for 21 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. And I just realized that I'm not logged into Unlonely. So I'm trying to get logged in right now so I can tell them to
let me do that.
Thanks, that'd be great. Yeah, we're running a little behind this morning, but hopefully everything's working. This is what I'm hoping for. There was a little bit of an issue with the Unlonely stream yesterday, but I believe everything is fixed now. So yay. And yes, now we are there. I see us. Yay. Okay. I'm still like recovering from yesterday, honestly. Like that was such a great chat with Jacek, and we had such great reactions to it. So thank you for everyone who watched and commented and all the things. I really appreciate that. There were a couple folks, and I was going to call us out later, but maybe I'll just do it right now, who, you know, went a little above and beyond in their reactions, and I appreciate it. We have oops, hold on. It helps if I actually share it. Really, I told you it's going to be one of those mornings. Here we go. So this was from Deller. Nice chat with Jacek today and Nounish Prof and Adrienne. I should probably follow him. He said nice things and I didn't even follow. And had a nice little thread here with some summaries. So if you missed it and want to get a quick lowdown, that was great. And then I love this from Klaus Wilk. I think the current degen tipping allocations lead to excessive attention farming, but I also think a small change in how allocations are made could improve things a lot. And then he had tagged us and posted in GM Farcaster, and it was really interesting take on everything Jacek was talking about, and kind of relates to a few other things that are being discussed right now. So let me, this all connects together. So stay with me for a second. Farcaster DAU.
I'm picturing you at the board of the conspiracy theory board right now.
Like this all goes together, I promise. Stay with me.
Let's go.
I promise it does. Yeah, the Charlie board. So Farcaster DAU since we started counting in June 2021. So simple chart about the growth. We can see that, you know, a lot of that growth happened early this year and relates to both degen and frames. Frames also popped off a lot of this activity. And then and I want to make a note too. I loved your note. Sorry, go ahead.
In January, we also announced we were going to start taking some sponsors as well, which also coincided. So I'm just wondering if we had something to do with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all about us. I'm sure that's it. I'm sure that's definitely it. I did love this from you. I love your Scenius takes. One of my favorite characteristics of a Scenius is that when a record is broken, the success is claimed by the entire scene. So congrats to us. We did it. So I love that you are taking credit, but also it's all of us. But this is an interesting take that I saw this morning from Surge. So Dan wants to fight farmers after posting this DAU chart a few days ago. DWR, don't you know what caused that spike in users in the first place? A small hint for you. Degen, don't try biting the hand that made you prosper. Stop thinking as a Web 2 PM. I may have gotten a little defensive on this one. I was a little frustrated. And this was in response to how to fight back on bots and spam. In particular, this part of the cast, is the user uninteresting, post low effort replies, boring cast, spammy cast, to bot, programmatic account, not likely to be an actual human using a mobile device, farming, a sophisticated account, good at getting engagement, but you don't find it interesting. And there's been a back and forth in general about what is spam, what is farming, and what is the good parts of that and what is the bad of that, and how do we parse that? And there's been a few other instances recently in discussions about this same topic. So let me go to those, and then I'm going to shoot back to you. Tervo in Reply Guys had a little meltdown.
He also gained a new fan. Tervo, you're my new favorite follow.
There you go.
I love tantrums on the timeline.
This is
legitimately. I call it a but I really love the energy.
So you got very upset. You're going to want to delete your engagement farming bullshit degen giveaways from my channel before I get home and get good Wi-Fi. I think he was on a plane at the time. Or else you will not be posting here. Get your effing shit together. It is so embarrassing to scroll the feed, and it's just straight her degen giveaway. So he was getting really frustrated. There was a couple other folks who have made similar posts. This one was from Renee, different tone, similar message. Now hear me out. What if for one day everyone didn't cast a competition for degen? One day where all you see is when you scroll is art. No recast and tag 3 people, just a relaxing feed of artists sharing their work. Do you think that would feel better? And I love her work. So of course I'm in favor of that. So let's break this down a little bit. I think everyone is on board with not seeing a lot of bots, unless they're useful bots. There are some bots that are very useful. There are things that alert you to, for example, you've got a vote that you have to take in a DAO, or something along those lines. Or I like Edit's bot that's telling me how much degen I have left. I think it's helpful, but some people might find that to be annoying as well. I think when that's all you're seeing,
action, by the way,
is a problem. Go ahead. And cast actions might fix it.
A cast action for degen is way better because it's private. So it's the bot for the degen amount's nice, but it also clouds feed. And
that's true. And I think there probably
someone
is
getting your
ways.
attention.
Yes, or me. I'm a bot. Yes, we have a bot apparently in our chat. Yes, his name is Stu.
I like bots.
It depends on the bot. And then you have this, low effort reply guy sort of approach, engagement farming, and different things. So what is your take on all of this? What do you want to see? What do you not want to see? What do you think is helpful? And how do you feel about, sort of this whole conversation?
So all of last year, when we talk about growth, the emphasis was on QDAO.
Yeah.
And it was always quality, quality, quality. And I think if Dan's approach was growth, without quality, it would have taken a different approach. So I believed in that. I still think it's the right way to go. I think it gets a little bit, I'm pointing at my background. Yeah. Unless Farcaster grows, there's, Dan always calls it a science experiment. And it was a fun little blip in history. So there is some balance of recognizing you need the growth. But I think I think this graph is DAO.
Yeah.
It's not QDAO.
It's not QDAO. A percentage of that is, but it might be 50%.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. It's definitely not QDAO.
So I think what we're seeing is when people post oh, Dan, you want growth? Well, hey, that's degen bringing, so yeah, there's some casino, it's kind of the computer meets the casino. I personally would I think if we hear more just kind of emphasis on growing quality, but he is, what's the focus this week was around kind of a lot of this is, I don't know if he's calling it spam, but whatever. And I don't have the cast in front of me, however he called it, but kind of increasing quality on notifications, home feed, channels, etc. So,
right. Yeah, it was this.
To pretend, yeah. But I don't listen, growth is good. DAO, increase in DAO is good. But if I just kind of reject that, it means it has to also be because of the, farmers and.
Exactly. Yeah.
We can have both.
I think you can't underestimate frames in that growth chart because they had some overlap and degen happened first, but my dog will not shut up. Shut up. Okay, shut up.
I like your dog.
It's going to be one of these days.
I barely hear him.
Oh, good. He's so loud right now. And he's the tiniest little thing. I think you can't underestimate that. And frames is coming from builders, right? The frame growth. The DAO or QDAO that we can attach to that is coming from builders, and that is probably more likely QDAO rather than just DAO. And DGen's a mix. We definitely have seen those came for the coin, stay for the community. Can't underestimate that aspect of it. Absolutely. And I think this is tricky. I think there is nuance to it, but there needs to be some kind of balance. So this was the cast you were talking about from Dan. Work in progress, how to solve low signal content, of which spam is a subset. 4 main surfaces in app where low signal content appears: home, notification, cast pages, channels. Spam appears mostly on cast pages and channels. If you have a large audience, notifications. So we talked about that the other day, where notifications are a problem for some people and at times, and mine can get nuts at moments. But it's also kind of the way it's being presented. So there's probably some tweaks in there that can help with that, but also it's probably a fairly small problem percentage wise. Home feed is interesting because home feed is where things can get tricky depending on what channels you're following. Cast page, meaning I assume that means your page. I'm not quite sure what that means.
Okay. I also took a minute to be like, what is a cast page? I figured it out. It's when
your
you look at a
page?
No, it's just a cast.
Okay.
So when you look at a cast and you have the replies underneath it,
got it.
How are they ordered, the threading, all of that. So I just think calling it a page is confusing because so many of us are on mobile. So I don't think in pages, but if you're designing an app, I think they'll let you think in pages, but it's just the view of when you're looking at a cast.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that explanation. Because I was like, I'm not sure what a cast page is. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense.
For figuring it out.
Thank you. We appreciate you. So when you've got home feed can be the thing that that's the first thing you're looking at, and that is just full of spam and low effort and things you don't want to see, that becomes a problem because you're less likely to log in again, right? You're less and less are interested in being here. When your home feed, and there was a moment in time, it started to get better. And then it kind of feels like it goes back and forth. And also it's very dependent on who you're following. So I know I need to go through some of this is me having to take some ownership on maybe I need to tweak, maybe I need to be a little more careful. I'm following a lot of people. I might need to do, adjustment there. But also, I don't want to see if I log in and all I see is, recast and tag 3 people and give me DGen. By the way, if you ask me to tip you, you're going to get banned by me. Like you're going to get muted. Period. Full stop.
Don't do this.
Bye-bye.
Don't
do this ever.
Just don't.
Ever.
Well, what's amazing, I love about the way Dan presents this is there's high effort solution and no work solution.
Yeah.
So high effort puts it on you. And I've actually thought about this too. I had this idea of like, maybe I should fix my followers just to try to curate my feed. But I'm a little overwhelmed by that prospect. I thought about, how they have that auto unfollow, like you can unfollow accounts you haven't interacted with.
Do we have that on here?
Yeah. I don't know if it still is. They had it at least last year. You can kind of prune this was back when cast storage, you could prune it was just an automatic unfollow accounts. I was thinking about playing with that again. I had done that once before. But I'm very scared to unfollow people I don't want to unfollow.
What if I unfollow, somebody that I want to follow? I know so it does take, so there is some ownership there on some of, on us to curate a little better. In channels, same thing. And this is when, I hear people talking about shadow ban, and I'm trying to understand what they mean by that. But I think I'm getting it. It's if you're banned in a channel, yes, your casts aren't going to be seen. But at the top level, you're either going to get nerfed completely, or are you going to can Warpcast just shadow ban you where you don't know, or is it channel specific? To me, it feels like it's channel specific. If you're banned at the top level of Warpcast, aren't you just gone? Your account's gone? You're nerfed? Or what? So
No.
what are you
So when
seeing
you're
in that?
okay,
Maybe you
so
can
when it comes
explain a
to
little better.
yeah, so shadow banning, like my feeling is it's probably the channels is where it's
Yeah,
manifesting most, where people are noticing it because they'll be friends. Hey, I'm posting in this
right,
channel, not getting engagement.
right.
If you get shadow banned from a channel, let's call it shadow banning. We don't use that term, but
They just use it banning.
um,
Yeah,
you still
yeah.
see yourself. You still see your casts, but other
Okay,
people don't. So then you ask a friend, hey, do you see my cast? No, I don't see it. And then people get outraged. Hey, this is
got it.
freedom of speech. This is supposed to be censorship resistant. Why am I here?
Yeah.
Blockchain something. And people get upset.
Blockchain something.
Decentralized. And okay.
Decentralized and blockchain and freedom of speech, which most people don't understand what that means. So interesting.
And so there's definitely a lot of that happening.
Yeah.
And that is one thing. And
Okay.
then and that is on the channel mod to do or host.
Right.
Channel host can choose what you see in a channel. Remember,
I think that's a
channels.
really, really important point because I think a lot of people are equating that with Dan is banning me from this channel and it's probably not him.
Yeah.
Unless it
And
is,
you do not have
unless
a right.
it's the Warpcast channel or the Farcaster channel, it's probably not him. So
It's not.
that's, yeah. So it's really
And you don't
interesting.
have a right to channels. You actually
No.
do not have a right to cast into any channel that you don't have. You do have a right to buy your own channel and create your
Yeah.
own and do whatever you want, but you don't have a right to pop into someone else's channel and post what you want. So
Yeah.
at the Warpcast level, they can nerf you, which means, but I think there may be outright bans where
Yeah.
but I actually think because you can build any other client, you can still
Yeah.
post to hubs. You just don't. So my thought is you're just completely invisible, or at
Yeah.
least it was at some point. So when you get nerfed, is you can post to hubs through Warpcast, but you literally no one sees you.
So I think mostly what we're seeing when people are complaining about shadow banning is we're seeing those who are banned from a channel. And, think about why you're banned from that channel, if that's what's happening. Think about what have you been casting? Look back at what your casts are. If it is just replies that are spammy like, where you're not adding any value, that's probably why you're getting banned, or because you're posting something that's just not supposed to be in that channel. It should be somewhere else, and you're doing it over and over again. So
yeah. So as a host of a channel, I do know we can ban people, we can't unban. So I think what happens is when sometimes we get a little quick to ban or hide, and it's not because, and I say this, we're going to get it wrong. And at the Warpcast level, what Dan's doing in terms of labeling spam, like he'll get it wrong too. So there will be some false positives and some false negatives. Mistakes will be made, but I think it has to happen at the large level. And I think there's ways to redeem yourself.
There may be ways to redeem yourself. Yeah, for sure. And along those lines too, we got a couple more things to chat about. I did like this meme. Very similar to the one with the Beckhams the other day. I'm here for the art. Reply GM. Here for the art. You get DGen tips for engagement. Drop your art, tag 3 friends, quote cast follow for a chance to win. It's like, yeah, I get you. We're done with that. I did love this from Beta Shop on another note. Sketched out top 3 goals for Airstack this week, and one is one DAO on Farcaster. Wait, what? Why does Airstack have a Farcaster goal? If Farcaster wins, we win. How can Airstack manage to this goal? By building products that help drive Farcaster growth and by helping devs do the same. And we see that's exactly what's happening. And I think you and I have a similar goal. Like, we want to see Farcaster win. Honestly, I could go slower. I'm fine with that. I need more time to catch up a little bit. But I think that's going back to the Scenius that you mentioned before, that all connects together. So yes, we do want to see growth, but we don't want to see growth at the cost of quality. I think that's the difference here. Would you agree?
For sure.
Yeah.
And generally, the theme that Beta Shop hits on and that we've talked about is kind of the rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think that's really important. On another note, little update on the goat from Aleph, 20 plus hours of flying, 5 plus hours of driving, 3 goats, go higher. We did it. Apparently, there's the goat. There he is. That's him down below, not the one on the top. I think that's just a goat filter. But
all I'm going to say is I think I'm so glad we have this on video because 500 likes to get on a plane. Like we're going to see massive like inflation over the years. Like it will never be so cheap to get someone to do an international flight.
He could have always said, I didn't mean it. I was just kidding.
Aleph is a Farcaster hero. And we'll go down in Farcaster lore.
Absolutely.
By the way, the goat's not part of the lore. Is this real? Has anyone validated?
I know. I assume yes. It feels real. Like I'm not ready to question it. I'm not throwing it on the Charlie board. But I felt like it was real. You know, we started talking about Mount Kilimanjaro. He was starting to lose me, but you know, here it is. Here we are. So there you go. I'm back.
This is going to be the year. So we have an election in the U.S. This is going to be the year of the deep fake.
Oh my God, it's going to be awful.
And you know, obviously, cryptography fixes it because things can be you know digitally signed and verified. But casts, I think at this point, casts are kind of like, okay, I know Aleph sent that cast, but we don't know if that picture is real yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But that hasn't been signed. So.
There's a note here. There's a video of it on Dracula. So there is a video. We do have video evidence. You know, yeah, I know. We could go on and on about.
Is it provable that it was actually taken and not uploaded? Like,
so in other words, Adrienne wanted to go fly to Kenya to verify, and we just didn't get that done this week.
Yeah, it needs to be on
multiple verification.
Like it needs to be live. You need to be able to talk to your chatters while you do it. Great chat today, by the way. I see you guys.
Yeah, I see you guys in there chatting. I'm going to go back and read afterwards. I do want to mention this because I don't know if you're following this, but this is funny from Chun. Damn, I tried to book some time on someone's calendar and got this response. Guess who? Hi, I will be out of the office from April 8th to May 8th to play Crypto the Game. It will be 10 days of frustrating, overly complicated, puzzled, and seeing monsters under the bed and in every corner. Then another 20 days of finding peace within myself. Again, I am not available during work hours and will not respond to nor read emails. Thank you. And then this from Sparks related. Don't mind me. I'm just impatiently waiting for Boys Club Crypto the Game daily pod to drop. Spill it already. By the way, I was doing that same thing last night. So if you're not following Crypto the Game,
are you playing?
I'm not playing. I wanted to. I was like, I can't right now. And I had an opportunity to do it, and I was like, to get early access, and I was like, I just can't do it in this time frame because I knew it was going to be time heavy. However, there may be something similar coming from GM Farcaster sometime in May, June. So stay tuned. I haven't even told Adrienne that, by the way. This is one of those. Yeah. This is a V on a plane to India kind of moment. Videos coming by the end of 2024. So you know, we have things, but I love it. I'm like, I have some back channel conversations about it with people, like asking them because they're playing and talking to them about what they're playing. So definitely, like, if you're not following this, go just listen to the Boys Club podcast. Start with the first one. You'll catch up and you'll understand what's going on and just follow along because it's really it's a survivor-like game, but all online and in crypto. And why is it all online? Because all of our friends are online. This one was from YB. Just realized that the people on Farcaster are my work friends. Still feels weird to say when normie friends ask, though. Well, we don't tell them. I don't know why you were telling them that, YB. Of course they think you're weird. We only keep that to ourselves. And this from Entropy Vendor. For sure, one of the most interesting phenomenon about this niche space we are in, the delineation between work play is loose. I like to think it's because we all enjoy what we work on and usually enjoy what others work on as well. And July said, this is my work friend to Entropy Vendor.
I love this take. And we had Yasik on yesterday who talked about, I kind of asked him, I'm like, you keep saying we, who's we? And it's just been him. Yeah. But we's the Scenius. He had so many people that's advising him and building on top. So I actually think everyone's a work friend. And like literally for us now, like I work on Farcaster And
Yeah.
I love everyone I've met. So hey, guess what? You all are
also,
work friends.
by the way, we didn't share this yet, but this is funny. When we were putting together our LLC, and our partnership documents, we had to put our incorporate, our membership documents, whatever. We had to put where our primary workplace was, and I did put Farcaster. But I then put but for mailing things here, use this. But that was, and I loved this. You had a little chat yesterday, had a super nice chat with everyone on Google Call. That was fun. Adrienne Duffy, Juan Dolinsky, Shripani, Ivy, and Galazio. And I'm jealous. So along the lines of hanging with your work friends, having a coffee.
I don't know if this lasts forever, but literally Sam just said, like, I'm working late. Here's a Google Meet. I was like cooking dinner, and I just like pop in, and you see friends, and we chatted, and it was awesome.
I wish somebody had pinged me. I missed it. I want to be there, but yeah, I need to do that more. I will soon, not today, but soon. I will be. This will be my full-time gig, and I will be available for things like that. But I do love that, and I love that vibe that we're creating this little office building where we all work. It's just called Farcaster now. So amazing. I'm going to stop there. We had a few other things to get to, but we're back tomorrow. So I think I've done a really poor job of telling people that we are not on Friday.
I haven't helped you much.
I keep forgetting to mention that. We're coming back tomorrow. We're not going to be on Friday. We're going to be on tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. And I was thinking I did not pull a screenshot for that. So we'll be back tomorrow. So we have a few other things to get through, and we'll chat about those tomorrow. And anything before we wrap? We're running a little over, as per usual. I think we've given up on 21. I thought we were going to do 21 today. Did not happen. But thank you to our chatters. I'm glad Unlonely's back. I do want to get that feature, though, where we can pull comments in, because that's really cool. So Grace, if you're listening or if you're watching, I don't know. If
Grace is here.
She's in
Grace
there. Hey, Grace. I really like that YouTube thing within StreamYard where you can pull in the comments and show them on the screen. So if we could do that, that'd be great.
Just do it for your work friend.
Just for your work friends. Colleagues. We'd really appreciate it. Your work friends would really like to be able to show comments on the screen.
By the way, we do 21 minutes of Farcaster news 3 times a week, which is really 30 minutes of Farcaster news 4 times a week. We have to get to 100 episodes for FarCon. So we need to sneak in a few, and there's
and let me mention that. So next Tuesday, if we haven't told you yet, July is going to be on as our special guest. And I am really excited about that conversation. So that's next Tuesday. And then the last week of April, we have 2 special shows. One with Gran and Cameron, who put together FarCon last year. And then also the FarCon team for this year in another show. So leading up to FarCon. So I'm very excited about that. So if you didn't know that, next week, July. So Grace, if you're listening, let's make sure Unlonely's streaming on that day, please. I was like, whoa, that was bad timing. Like couldn't have been a day when it's just us and nobody cares. Anyway, thank you all. And we will see you tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Bye-bye.